Hey guys, I'm here to get into the 2004 film Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, directed by Michael Gondry. I just remember this being like one of the most buzzed, praised things of all time, and it took a lot of time for me to acquire this one. I mean, nowadays it took me, literally to my last few viewings to see this is an all-time groundbreaking masterpiece of. It's like half drama, half romance with a little bit of science fiction element thrown into it. But I mean, Jim Carrey's just it's technically felt like it is his greatest performance. One of my personal favorites remains Truman Show. This is like a perfectly melancholic expression of a very insecure kind of guy who wants to erase all of his memories that have built a foundation towards him. And then he finds out that even those memories were maybe the ones worth preserving the most at the end, as he kind of embraces melancholic beauty and moves forward with all that. And he kind of finds his joy and his unique way of doing that. I mean, this is just a perfect film that just wakes up a beautiful spirit. And I love the cinematography and the screenplay so much. It just feels like a one of a kind for Michael Gondry completely. I've never seen anything quite like this. Like the characterization, it's just particularly perfect here. It feels like it's just very beautiful and organic storytelling the entire way through. Like it just flows as graceful as a river. It's just kind of telling its story in a very just organic way. It's easy to get into the characters. It's easy to just live and breathe life. It's supporting characters like Mark Ruffalo, Kristen Dunst. Again, the year 2004, we're just at groundbreaking times when we're looking at that. And there's like a rawness about the cinematography. It just feels like it's out for something kind of harsh on memories that just never really will ever go away for a person. Maybe it's better to just embrace it rather than let yourself be haunted by it. Maybe find the joy of magic in it. And it's beautiful how this film kind of progresses towards that knowing ultimately. It's like literally an ultimate summation of like good times, bad times. It's all worth the share kind of deal, because I just love the heart that this film embraces the entire way through. It's like, again, it feels a little bit like of a complaining perspective in the beginning, but then it embraces it as there's no complaining. No way. This is the way it's meant to be embraced. As a message of growing up as a person. It's like the rid of that is to kind of almost prevent your development too much is kind of what it's exploring. There's a lot of pain that involves in our relationships. So that brings it to beauty. Ultimately, this is just a mysterious story entirely, which just really just portrays beautiful dysfunction and then an ultimately beautiful relationship between these couples. This is really a masterful exploration of that in its own kind of way entirely. It just feels like it's a perfect depiction between Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet. I mean, it's almost my favorite Kate Winslet role. I've just never seen anything like their dynamic. This film portrays. It really is a timeless, organic communication living inside of it here. This is just really perfect at portraying. Yeah, Charlie Kaufman's screenwriting. I mean, that's I think really the drive of a lot of this project. You have Michael Gondry in the director. It's Kaufman who was writing, who really drives, I think, the nature of this one. It feels like tied with adaptation is his best work. So I just love the stuff he was doing so much in the early mid 2000s, particularly. And this has a message that love conquers all. Love kind of is an eternally winning factor in the grand scheme. So Kaufman just seems very aware of this as he makes this. It just takes it back, and it's just like an incredible emotional arc, and all the characters really realize very beautiful emotional chords in the end. And this screenplay it's just kind of ahead of its time, honestly. I think this just needed a few viewings to acquire just how perfect it all kind of lands with emotional resonance. It's just kind of a sweet story, ultimately. The film just has a happy atmosphere about it. It kind of does feel good, ultimately, to go through this chemistry. And just sort of what is the human love and fascinated by, just sort of a greater force of love. And this is like a film that just gets right into the heart of it. Light and dark, it's all worth it is what the message of this movie is. It does feel, it's like a happy melancholy to that in many ways. It's a very original shade, which does tell them is this is just one of Jim Carrey's again, it can't be stressed enough, just one of the most stunning moments. Again, even a lot of Frank Capra influence kind of going into it. This is just the one of a kind deal for director Michael Gondry. I've really never seen anything quite like it. It's just another masterpiece from this 2004 year. I just kind of loved all this film from start to finish. It just kind of speaks for itself, really. It's just something really wears its heart on its sleeve. It's also got a lot of hilarious moments in the screenplay. It's very subtle, very detail oriented, but also hilarious. I just love Carey very much here. This is just quite a masterpiece from start to finish, and it's just the message washes over very clearly. It's like it's all worth preserving in the end, and love and pain is an equal balance. That can be a level of perfection right in the middle of that. And it's just a visionary expression of a character who realizes that. Carey just realizes that this time through this film. Love just flows through the whole film, really, and it's just completely beautiful of a romance story from start to finish to a surrealistic perspective. A surreal perspective on love is my favorite ultimately because it kind of conveys it. I want to relate to the heartache and loneliness as much as anything, and there's an epiphany you can find in the end with all of that. And there's something of an oddity about it too, passion, balance, sensitivity. It just expresses all of that in just such a beautiful paradise kind of way that's just completely heartfelt. And I just love this film from start to finish. Really, it really is perfect. And again, all these side characters just really stand out. It's got a beautiful poetic spark. The visuals are just the cinematography is always driven, which is something completely perfect from start to finish. And this is a film that's just completely entertaining, and it's just going to strongly recommend it from start to finish.